All right, what's up, YouTube? So today I got a couple tips for you guys today. Topic of today is going to be how did I get my placements? So I've had people over the years ask me how did I get my placements? How did I work with Playboy Cardi, Young Bands, Thousand Band Fani, the Activists, D Savage, like all the artists you guys see me work with. A lot of people have asked me how did I get them. Uh, so there's several different things that I kind of will go over. So I'm gonna give you 5 tips, and then number 6 is actually going to be a bonus at the end. So there's going to be a number 6 bonus, and this is the number 6 is the one that got me the most views, or not, excuse me, not the most views, the most placements. So the bonus tip is the one that got me the most placements. These other ones helped me out quite a bit and definitely made it easier for me, but that bonus tip is what really solidified it, and it's actually how I got my first placement and pretty much almost all my placements. But the top 5 tips help me maintain that. So to get started, the first tip that I got for you guys as a producer, and a lot these tips really actually pertain as far as artists go as well. So if you're an artist, you can use these tips to kind of help better work and build connections with other artists and producers as well, art and graphic designers, pretty much everybody in the underground scene, right? So the first tip that I got is number one, you need to be consistent. So like you have to remain consistent. And by consistent, I don't mean you necessarily have to make beats every single day. You don't necessarily have to make a song every single day, but you need to be consistent. You can't be like a hit or miss type of producer. You can't make a beat today and then 2, 3, 4, 5 months go by and you don't make another one. You know what I mean? So be consistent. Continue. Always try to make a habit of being creative as well. So like that helped me out. So as far as the consistency part, the main thing to hone in on that is to understand that you want to consistently make beats so that way you always have new beats that you can send out to people. That's number one. Number two, be consistent with sending people beats. So say you send beats to multiple artists, and you've sent this artist beats before you, and they've used them several times. So let's say you send I don't know, Fawny 10 beats, and out of the 10 beats, he ends up using, 2 or 3 of them. But that consistently happens. You would want to consistently send Fawny beats. You would want to make sure you're sending Fawny as many beats as possible. That way that he can has enough to create different songs, different vibes, different things like that. But enough to be consistent enough to where in his mind he's thinking, dude, that this dude always sends me beats. This producer always sends me stuff, and I regularly use them. So you definitely want to find a way to be consistent, and if you can be consistent with one particular artist or several artists, that's definitely going to help you out. So the next one that I got on my list is to this one helped me out quite a bit. This one is a good one. Is to reroute attention, right? So by rerouting attention, what I mean by that is what you want to do is so it would start off like this. Like on my first couple of placements, the way that I found out about them was actually the artist never told me. You guys kind of know those stories. The artist never told me. I never was like communicate. The artist would never communicate with me and let me know, hey, I used this. This is being used. We made this song or nothing. I would basically find out by being on social media, looking at different music blog pages and different things like that, and seeing the snippets. So let's say like that Count and Casket song or any of the songs that Cardi used. The only way that I found out about them was because a snippet popped up or a video of him playing the song or whatever the case may be, and then those different pages that was reposting it. Some of them would tag me. Most of them didn't because they didn't even know who I was as the producer. So that's where you want to reroute the attention. You want to grab those pieces of content, whatever they are, whether it's snippets, whether it's low quality snippets of vocals or whatever it is, as long as is something to do with you and pertaining to your craft and you help this, take that content and repost it on every platform that you have. So if you got Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, like everything, you want to re-upload that and repost that onto those different platforms to get that attraction and that attention. Because, for example, so the Count and Casket snippets that just went all around the internet. People were listening to it. People would play it. People would repost it. But nobody would necessarily repost it and say new song coming out with Milan Makes Beats. It would be new Playboy Cardi song coming out. You see what I'm saying? So you want to put it out there and redirect the attention and bring it all towards you as if you're the artist. You see what I'm saying? So if there's pictures, videos, little snippets, anything, take that content, repost it, and make sure you credit yourself properly, like how you're supposed to be credited, right? So rerouting the attention. So be consistent, reroute your attention, right? The third one I have is build real connections and maintain them. I mean, when I say that, I really emphasize the word real connections. So in the underground scene, you'll notice that you're able to build connections very easily with artists. So like it's easy to talk with one artist or talk with one producer, talk with one graphic designer or engineer or whatever, and kind of get cool with them. And y'all, y'all on some fist bump, hand dap type of deal, right? Like y'all cool. But you want to build a real connection to where it's like you can hit this person up and be like, "Yo, I'm in the city. Like, can you help me out as far as finding a place to stay, getting a rental car, or plugging me in with where I need to go, showing me the right spots, even just simple stuff of where should I eat, where should I stay away from, those types of things." So I'll give you an example of where this actually really came into play with me, right? So building real connections. One thing that I will give a credit to for young bands is anytime that I would go down to Atlanta to go record him and work with him while he's living at home and on house arrest and whatnot, he he would he would allow me to stay like at his parents' spot, like with him, like his mom's spot with him. So I would could drive down from school, go to Atlanta, link up and stay with him at his crib, and we'd record and we'd do our thing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I would do that with several other artists. So I would either fly out to LA or fly to New York, or well, I drove to New York a couple times. But or whichever it is, I would go and do my thing, but I would make sure I would build a genuine connection with multiple people there, or at least one or two people. So even if it's not a person I'm necessarily there for. So say I was going to Atlanta for young bands, but I don't know. I had a friend that was living in Atlanta at the time. His name was Lay. Shout out Lay. Um, Lay would let me go and stay with him first few times I came down and dealt with any artist. So the first few times I dealt with bands or Thousand Band Fani or Uno or any of these other artists, I would go and stay with Lay. Lay was a personal friend that I actually had here from my hometown that lived down there. But because I had that connection with him and we were cool and we were friends, I was able to go there, be like, hey, can you do me a favor, do me a solid, let me stay with you or whatever. I'm going to do this, that, and the third with these artists. You're welcome to ride along and come with us. You make beats too, so I mean, why not? You just started and everything at the time. So that's how that worked. I would build real connections with real people. It may not necessarily be the artist that you're there to visit, but it's somebody in that area that you can kind of depend on to kind of be like a tour guide for you. But you also want to branch that, build real connections out to the engineers, the artists, the producers, other rappers and things like that, because they can open up the door for you. So say I did a song with bands, and that opened up the door for me to work with a different artist, or I work with this artist, and that opens up the door for me to work with this producer. Me working with this producer opened up the door to get me linked in with this engineer who records, insert whoever artist that you want to work with. You see what I'm saying? So you want to find a real genuine connection. So you want to build a connection with a person that's in the same area that you typically travel a lot to, that you genuinely like. So you'd want to build a connection with the person that if you both didn't do music and you guys just happen to bump into each other off the street, y'all would kick it and be cool. You see what I'm saying? That's how you want to build a real genuine connection. So that's number three. So the fourth one that I got is I just have it quoted as put in the work, and then I have several other points up under that. You want to put in the work. So by putting in the work with getting placements, what I mean is to piggyback off the last one, you want to be able to travel, right? That helped me out the most. So me traveling to New York, me traveling to Atlanta, and me traveling to LA is what really helped me get most of my placements. The reason being is because I'm in face-to-face interaction with the person. You know what I mean? So it's like it's very different when a person sees your email pop up and knows, all right, these beats are going to be hard, but they don't have a face to the name or the email. Like they've never met you, you've never interacted with them or anything like that. A lot of you guys have. This is like your first time possibly ever even seeing me or hear my voice or anything like that. you definitely want to get in person with somebody, and that's going to help you out because by traveling is going to help you out because then you can actually meet the person, build that connection, like I was talking about, and that'll also help you reroute attention because now you can post, "Hey, I'm in the studio with said artist," and you're on Snapchat, Instagram, or whatever the case is, and you're promoting yourself and do your thing. So then people will watch your stuff, your supporters, and be like, "Oh, all right, he went from just emailing beats to this guy, and they made a song, to now he's in the studio with this person," and they start to see the slow progression. You see what I mean? So you want to be able to travel. Another one that I have under that is you may have to occasionally be the person that books time. In my instance, I was able to just pull up with my laptop. I have all the gear and everything, and I was able to record some of these songs that I actually got placements for. So, like, what is it? The song "Dresser" by Young Bands. I actually recorded that in his bedroom, like with him, and we're standing like literally are sitting side by side each other, recording it. If you actually go back and listen to the beginning part of Young Bands, you hear like a part to where you can kind of hear like something knock up against the mic or something. I still use this equipment. It was actually these headphones that he had on his head, and you can hear him like kind of putting them on, and the cord started hitting up on the mic. This is actually, matter of fact, this is the actual mic that Dresser was recorded on. I recorded Dresser on this right here and a Mac Air, a MacBook Air. That was it. So that was one thing that I can definitely say attributed to me being able to get these placements was the travel and putting in the work. Another caveat that we can add to that is get you some equipment, be able to record. I didn't mix Dresser, I just recorded it, but I still have the stems, the vocals, and everything to this day on that laptop and all of that. And I still have other songs that are out and everything that I still have that and I have access to. So get you some equipment and get you some stuff to be able to record. Make sure you can travel. So set it up. Like I would literally book times like get a flight or gas up my car and then go get an Airbnb or whatever the case is, hotel, whatever it is, and plan to be there for several days. I usually would go for like 3 days to a week and get as much work done as I could. That helped me out greatly. So be willing to do that. Another one to add to that a lot of people don't necessarily are on the fence about and don't want to do, which I think is actually a great idea. I wish I would have thought about it and had done it sooner. When I first started, but pay for placements, just plain and simple. Paying for placements, I feel like is perfectly fine. The downside to that is the quality of the placement. So say you send the person the beat, you pay them, and then they hear it and they're like, "Oh, I really don't even like this beat like that. But I've been paid already. I got to put something together." That can happen. So if you are going to pay for placements, what I do suggest is that you send this person a variety of beats. So if you're paying for the placement, go ahead and send them 5 or 10 beats. And if they use more than that, that's fine. Like that's not going to hurt you at all whatsoever. You basically end up getting 2 placements for the price of one. Or if they only use one, that's fine. You're getting what you paid for. But be willing to pay for a placement. Like, and it's even better if you take the first couple points that I said, being consistent, reroute the attention, build real connections, and put in the work. Like if you well, this is still part of putting in the work. If you do those few that I just told you, this will absolutely help you if you're paying for the placement. So if you travel to the artist and then you pay for their placement, it's not like they're going to give you a half done verse. You know what I'm saying? Because you're in person with them, you've booked them time, you're there to work with them. You could even sit there and make a beat from scratch that the artist may like better than what you've sent them, or you get in person and then you start building that connection, like I mentioned. But just by you paying for one placement, this artist has sat here and recorded on 5 or 6 of your beats because he thinks your beats are hard, right? So that's one thing that will really help you out when it comes to putting in the work is to being able to travel, book time, and pay for placements. Those things will definitely help you out. So the number 5 thing, which I think helps producers out quite a bit, but a lot of people think is corny. I don't know why. Is I call it building a resume. So if you've ever noticed, a lot of artists will have, or a lot of producers will have the credits that they have in their bios, like produced for such and so, such and so, such and so, right? I think that's a good idea. That's you solidifying and saying This is why I charge what I charge, because I've worked with this artist. So for me, for example, I tell people when they ask me how much are your beats, I tell them 250 bucks, and nobody complains about that. Why? Because I have something to show for it. It'd be different. I was charging somebody 250 bucks for a beat, and I don't have any placements. I don't have anything to really necessarily show for it, if that makes sense. Now, I still agree that the person that has no placements and the person that does have placements, if you feel like your craft is worth 250 bucks, I say charge them for it, to be honest with you. But you hold a little bit more weight when it's like you're asking for 250 and they're able to Google your name and be like, oh, okay, well, he did this song, Dresser, it's got 10 million plays. He did this song, it's got X million plays. He did this song, it's got X million plays. You see what I'm saying? You have more, it gives you more validity to be able to say, this is what I'm charging and this is why. So build your resume, put it out there that you made music for these artists. That goes back to the rerouting attention. So building your resume is part of keeping those videos up, those posts, and those different things that you put out. So like if you go to my page, I don't post a whole lot on Instagram at all. I'm just not a very big social media person like that. But you can scroll all the way back down to to probably my earliest or first placements that you'd see, and they're still on my page. That's how you reroute that attention, and that's building a resume. Because even if I don't have it in my bio, who I have produced for, somebody just can just scroll through my Instagram and be like, okay, well, I see he's worked with X, Y, and Z artists, these people here. That's what I mean by build a resume. Make it obvious that you are the creator of this content that people are taking in. So I was the creator of this beat that became this song for this artist that is blown up. You see what I mean? Make sure to give yourself as much credit as possible. Whenever you see blogs and vlogs and things posting about it, make sure you tag yourself and say, yep, produced by me or art done by me or whatever the case is. Make sure you give yourself the credit, because just that alone could be like somebody searching through the comments and be like, dang, I wonder who made this beat. And then you have sat there and commented and said, "Yep, produced by me" on this Instagram post, and now he's followed you. Now he wants to use the beat, and he may have a following himself. You see what I mean? So now we're down to the last and the final bonus one, right? So the bonus one that has gotten me the most absolute plays, like in general, out of all these tips, and it sounds so simple as this. It's so simple. Is use your support base, right? What I mean by use your support base is as simple as this. You probably maybe people have noticed it and picked up on it. Anytime I post a beat, I typically don't say what like a type beat, or I don't say who like I don't aim to put a certain person on it. What I would do is in the beginning stages, I remember vividly the very first time Fonny ever DM'd me, or Uno DM'd me, or Young Bands DM'd me, or either I may have DM'd them first a couple of times. I think I DM'd Bands first, because I remember I used to talk with him before he like even had 20K followers. But Fonny in particular, I remember the reason he DM'd me was because I posted a video on Instagram of this beat that I had produced, and I think the beat is called Sprite. If you go back and look on my SoundCloud and look through my old beats that I posted, my old like albums and whatnot, there's one that's called Sprite, and I put in my caption, tag who you hear in this, and that's how I started getting all my placements. I would literally just say, who do you hear on this? Tag who you hear on this, or who do you want me to get on this? And then people, my support base would drop comments and say, and tag Warhol on this, or Fonny on this, or LC Levi, or uh, Playboy Cardi, Lil Yachty, Young Bands, or Swag Hollywood, whoever they were. That's how I got my placements. That is the main way that I got my placements, is that my support base, you guys, actually got me the most placements out of anybody, because it's different when you have the one person, one singular person constantly tagging you over and over again. So say every time I posted a beat and I wanted to get Fonny on it, I just tagged Fonny. Well, he's only going to see that tag one time. It's different when his phone keeps going off because 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 people have tagged him in that one exact same post. So he'll have no choice but to see it at some point in time. Because just imagine, your phone rings one time and somebody tagged you in something, and you're used to that. You might ignore it. But when it's like ding, 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 like, and it keeps happening. It's like, dang, somebody tagged you in Milan's post. Somebody tagged you in Milan's post. Every time they look at the phone, eventually, I promise you, that person's gonna at least click on it and see what are they tagging me in. That's how I got most of my placements. I would just post as many beats as I could, and be as active as possible. I'm not near as active, and I don't post near as much as I used to. I probably need to do better about that. So take that. That's another tip I can add for you guys. Do what I say, not what I do. Right? I'm sure everybody's heard that. But my support base has gotten me more placements than me doing putting in the actual work and going hard. So with the combination of the first five that I gave to you plus number six, I promise you, you'll end up getting placements. That's exactly what I did, and that's exactly what China did. And I think if you look at both of us and see, they basically have gone like like anytime I got a placement, he got that same person for a placement. If he got a placement, then I got the placement too as well. I don't know if anybody ever noticed it. I think the only placement that China and I don't share with each other is Famous Dex. He has a Famous Dex placement and I don't. I just emailed Dex some emails literally like right before this, so maybe that'll change. Let's hope so. I wouldn't mind getting Dex on something and kind of see how that sounds for sure. But if it's off the top of my head, I think the only one that he has over me is Famous Dex, and the one that I can think of off the top of my head that I have over him is like Joey Fats and LC Levi and Swag Hollywood. I think those are the only three that I have that he doesn't. And I think the only one, oh, he technically has Offset one, so I don't have that one either. And he has a Rich the Kid, so we're basically, I have three that he don't have, and he has three that I don't have. So that's what helped me. So again, it's consistency, reroute your attention, build real life connections, put in the work, build a resume, and that bonus tip, use your support base. So the people that are rocking with you, that like your stuff, that's following you, that like all your comments, all your pictures, all your videos, use those people. Like, not in a negative way, like, hey, use those people. I've even used those people to say, they may DM me and say, "Hey, I want such and so to hop on this," and I'll tell them, "Well, tell them that you want that." So I've had artists or my support base hit me up and be like, "Dang, I can hear Famous Dex on this. Tag them and let them know you want us to work." And then next thing I know, I'm getting a tag. I'm getting an in my comments and my notifications saying, such and so tagged you, and then I go and read it, and it says it's on Famous Dex post that says you should work with Milan Makes Beats. Next thing you know, somebody DMs me and says, "Hey, I'm going to be in the studio tonight with Dex. Send us some beats over." That literally just happened to me. So you guys, as my support base, has given me more or given me more placements than any of the things that I've said. So I definitely appreciate you guys for actually doing that. So those are the things that I think will definitely best help out artists. So that's all I got for you guys. Tried to make it kind of short, but I'm kind of long-winded sometimes, and we were at 23 minutes. But just follow me on all my social media platforms. It's Milan Makes Beats. Give me a like, a thumbs up, thumbs down if you don't like it. Just interact with the algorithm so that my videos catch more attention and get more people interested in watching what I got going on and what I got to say. So it's Milan Makes Beats on everything. Leave a comment, like, tell me what you want to see, what you don't want to see anymore. Just give me feedback so I know what to give you guys. Um, and that's it. That's all I got for you guys today, man. So just follow me on all my medias, interact with the video, and that's all I got, man. Peace.